Hello everyone, this is CounterYolo bringing you another video in Star Trek Online. And today's going to be one of my more ranty videos. I've tried to make it a bit more positive than previous ones, so hopefully you all enjoy it. Today I'm going to be talking about the current state of STO events and how Cryptic can possibly make this better. This is a bit more addressed to Cryptic than to much of you all, but if you all like the suggestions I'm proposing, feel free to use your own channels to spread this around and to share it to Cryptic properly so that hopefully some of these changes can actually happen and make the current state of how these things work a little bit better for the player base, because frankly some of the things that they're starting to do is a lot more anti-player friendly. So anyway, here's the TLDR of what's going to happen during this video. I'll be talking briefly about the recent breast cancer packs and why they were such a good deal, the current state of how events currently work, and my proposal of how to make them all a little bit better, but still in a way that Cryptic might actually go for. I'll also have a fun addendum at the end of this video talking about the weekend store, some good news from that, and a way to manipulate the system to make it a bit better for you. Feel free to see the time links in the description to jump to all those different points in this video. So first off, we're going to talk about the breast cancer packs that came out yesterday. So on October 15th, there are 3 different payment options to this, whatever charity this was. The $1 option gave you some pink vanity stuff. The $5 option gave you a Discovery Raider for both the Klingon and Federation captains, which gives you the Strike from the Shadow Starship trait. And then the $10 option additionally gave you the Kurg Battlecruiser and the Europa Heavy Battlecruiser. Now here's some visual stuff for some of the stuff from the level $1 option. The reason why the $10 option sold out insanely quickly was because, first off, a lot of players in this game play Federation, which means a lot of them probably have the Arbiter Battlecruiser for the trait Emergency Weapons Cycle. And they broke that pack because they're like, well, I'm probably never going to play Klingon. But hey, with this option, hey, I can get the Klingon version really cheap. Additionally, the Europa Battlecruiser, if they didn't care about Klingon, well, I can pay $10 and I can get the Europa, which isn't a bad ship. It gives me a great console that's exclusive to Federation captains, but you know, it's great, but it's not necessarily worth the $30 to buy this thing. And additionally, for that $10, you also get the Discovery Raiders as well for the Strike from the Shadows trait. So an extra $5 to get some of that and all those other things. It was a pretty good deal, to the point that I even went and bought 2 of these myself. I bought a $10 one for my second account, and then on my primary account, because I already had Emergency Weapon Cycle and the Europa Battlecruiser on that one, I only bought the $5 one on my main account because I didn't really feel that the Discovery Raiders was worth it, because I was a tank captain and those traits aren't necessarily as useful on tanks. But hey, for $5 to get those, that is worth it for me. Anyway, that's what happened there. As of the recording of this video, there were still some $5 option ones left, but whenever this posts, those might also be gone too. So just keep that in mind. The link will be in the description, so in case you want to go to that and get some cheap Discovery Raiders in case there's still some of those left, you might be able to do that. Now, the real meat and bread of this video is talking about events. So I'll be talking first about how events currently are before I talk about how to actually make them better. So currently in Star Trek Online, we have 2 different types of events. We have Starship events, in which we have 4 of those during the year: the summer event, autumn event, winter event, and anniversary event. And those are the rough months there, as well as to when they generally occur. Because of this, generally the best time to be active in this game is from December through February, because you end up only being active for 3 months, but end up getting 2 starships, one of which generally has a really strong console on it. For the past 3 years, the Anniversary Starship happened to have a very strong, almost game-breaking console. This last Anniversary event had the Bajoran console's Domino console, which is basically a best-in-slot DPS console for any build in the game, whether it be PvE or PvP. The years prior to that was like the Lucari Protomatter console and the Kobali, like basically come back from 0 HP to full HP console as well, which are insanely strong for tanks as well in this game. Outside of Starship events, we also have our somewhat new featured TFO events, which have been slightly reworked versions of other events inside the game. The upside to them is that the items from these events are account unlocked, which is nice. Many of the other events in this game that were there for a couple weeks and you had an item, they wouldn't be account unlocked things. With the exception of the weekend store. The weekend store was the only thing that was a relatively recurring thing that gave items that were account unlocked. But outside of that, most of the other old things basically didn't have that, which is why a lot of those old things are now also in the Phoenix prize pack, so that's easier to access still. However, the downside of the old system versus the new system was that for Starship events, if you couldn't finish a given Starship during an event, what you could do before was, as long as you had the ship slotted in your event projects tab, you could still use later years of that particular event to finish off that Starship. So effectively, over a couple of years, especially if you're someone who can only log in on the weekends, you could still earn these different event Starships throughout your time playing. And it didn't feel bad, that you couldn't log in every day or every other day to finish a Starship during a given event. In the current version, at least as to the way that they have described it and the way that we have seen it thus far in the Alachi Mycelial Crisis event, for Starship events now, if you can't finish the Starship during the event, you're going to have to pay Zen to finish the Starship pretty soon after the event ends, or you're going to be losing all of the progress that you had towards that Starship. And it's entirely gone by the time the next event comes around, which sucks. And for featured TFO events, again, if you can't finish it during that particular event, you need to pay Zen to finish the project, or you're going to be losing all of your progress. A very much FOMO, fear of missing out mentality here. Yes, it's probably going to gain Cryptic some money as a result of doing this new system, but I mean, me as a pragmatist, I wanted to try to figure out a different method to still address these issues, still have Cryptic make money, but also have less of this FOMO mentality going on in the game. And so here are my ideas. First for featured TFO events, and then for our Starship events. So for featured TFO events, my idea is to just make it like the old weekend store. They can still have it that it's a currency that is to the account, so you can't earn multiple things at the same time. Like the Prior's World Elite Defense Satellite, which was extremely good for a lot of builds in the game, and the Terran Guerrilla Combat Armor, which is a very strong leveling armor, which I'll talk about at the end of this video as to why it's really, really nice to have in combination with a different shield and weapon. So for my proposals is you can still keep it like that it has its 14 token system, but change it so that you can earn the tokens at your own pace, and this can be stored across several events. So that whenever you earn those 14 tokens, that you can go to the featured TFO store and claim any of the featured TFO event items from the past or the present with those tokens. Again, they could easily limit it so you can only earn 14 tokens per event and just have dilithium payouts thereafter. Cryptic could easily do that. And the reason why this would be nice is so that, say, you're not interested at all in the current events item, which is the Kobayashi Maru device, which you have to put in your device section, but it works similar to like a lot of the other devices, like the Delta Alliance calling in for starships, the Nimbus Power Distress Call item, as well as a couple of those items like that. But instead of ones that do damage or ones that heal you, this is one that just periodically gives out some AoE buffs, essentially. Kind of like the combat supply module for ground combat, but for space, and you have to lose a device slot to do it. If we had the system like this, well, maybe people might be like, well, I don't really care about this item, but I want an old item like the defense satellite, and I didn't get to participate before, so I'll play the event to get the tokens and to get an old item. Right now, that doesn't exist right now. this would be an easy way to get people to still keep on wanting to play these events, especially ones that are, especially if Cryptic starts to acquire more and more newer players in the game, so that it doesn't feel as bad for not participating in old stuff. You're not ever going to match the number of items from these events as more veteran players, but you'll eventually be able to have some of the better ones. Instead of being able to show off all of them, be able to show off at least the good ones. So that's my proposal for their future TFOs. And when it comes to Starship events, this would be in a similar manner of making it so that you could bank up the 4 different currencies of those 4 different events, that you can bank them up at your own pace, and can bank them across several years of that particular event if you so choose. Once you get the amount that you need for that event, which is typically 1,000 of any given event's currency, my proposal is to have you be able to choose any of the tiers, the tier 6 starships from that particular type of event. So, for instance, for the Summer Lonut Festival event, if you got your 1,000 stuff, you'd be able to get any of the tier 6 summer starships from the past or the present. For our fall event, it would be the Lot Chief Frigate or whatever the new tier 6 one is for next fall. For this winter event, it could be any of the old winter starships, like the Marine Raider that has the Cold-Hearted trait, or whatever this new winter starship is going to be. My bet, if I was a betting person, would be the Feklari Dreadnought that we see at the end of the episode, doomed to repeat. And then for the anniversary event, you could choose any of the old Tier 6 anniversary starships, or whatever the new one this January is going to be. Like, for instance, you could choose the old Lucari ship for the Primar console, the Kobayashi ship for the insane self-healing console, or you could choose the Bajoran Interceptor for the really broken DPS console called Domino. I think that would be awesome to be able to do. Additionally, with that, just like the other event, I think it would be cool if we added some seasonal C-Store tab items there too, in which this would be going on during the event, plus 1 to 2 weeks thereafter. During this, it would include all previous Tier 6 and Tier 5 starships. That would be for whatever that current event's going to be. If it's during the summer, it's just summer starships. For the fall, it would just be the fall starships. During the winter, it would just be the winter starships. And during the anniversary, it would be all old anniversary starships. Especially because during the summer, now don't quote me for exact wording, but it sounded like our EP kind of noted that, at least for the anniversary, that they would be allowing some starships that you couldn't be able to acquire directly to be able to be acquired in more direct methods, or something to that effect. Again, I don't remember the exact video or the exact timestamps, so don't quote me, but this seems like the best way to go about it, because they obviously still want people to open lockboxes to get low buy and get lockbox and promotion pack starships. But if they did it in this fashion, so that, hey, old Tier 6 starships that you had to earn before during a particular time, now you can actually just buy them from the C-Store during a given limited time season thing during the year. I think that would be nice to be able to add to the game. Make it so that many of the strong DPS traits and consoles that are from these old anniversary starships that currently you can only get through Phoenix prize packs, which can debatably be cheaper than 6,000 Zen if you're lucky if you have really good luck. I think having this option would be quite beneficial for a lot of the community. Additionally, alongside that, being able to add some extra C-Store exclusive items to this seasonal tab inside of the C-Store would be nice to have too. Probably some things with the stuff inside of the other stores, which you normally would have to, gain other currencies during a particular season to get. And of course, I think it'd be cool to add some other exclusive vanity cosmetic things to the C-Store too for each one of these events during the year too, as well as for any expansions. That's just my personal idea on this. If you have different ideas, or ideas you think would be really cool to add to the game too, do you think Cryptic might actually go for this time? I think that would be very good to note, especially on Reddit or some other way to Cryptic. get a lot of people to say that they like that too. So the Cryptic is more likely to actually do something and to add that particular thing to the game. Especially because a lot of this is still more experimental and new for the game right now with this new way that they're approaching events. I think it's very important that we start getting on the ball and noting this to them early. Earlier is better so that we don't start getting complacent with the somewhat negative way that FOMO way that a lot of these events are starting to trend. Giving them alternatives to what they're doing, that will probably still make them money. In my opinion, it's just a better way to go. Whenever we just complain but don't give other options, that's not particularly helpful to them, in my professional experience as well in the jobs that I do. Anyway, so for this last section, for those of you that actually are managing to watch this to the end, I have some good news on the weekend store. So during the last Phoenix event, something that I was confused about, and several other people were confused about, was that the old weekend store items, they're in the Phoenix prize pack, but for some reason they were account unlocking after we claimed them from the Phoenix prize pack, which confused me and confused a lot of other people. What was confirmed by Kale on Discord and then was linked to on Reddit, and that was where I saw it, was that this account unlocking was intentional. Which is awesome, because that means now all these items over here, besides the interstitial capacitor, is now account unlocked through Phoenix prize packs. So you get whatever already is, you can claim the item that you want, and then you can keep on claiming it over and over again for all of your characters for free, using the event reclaim system, which is fantastic because we're going to be abusing the Sompek Blast Assault and the Sompek Personal Shield in this video. So the reason why this two-piece is really strong, but I haven't featured it before, well, it was because I didn't have these items before. I didn't feel that they were worthwhile enough because I needed the two-piece set for these to be worthwhile for me, because the two-piece gives us 25 kit readiness, and whenever a bridge archer performs CPR, they knock back enemies and damage them a little bit. Now, right now, because these are account unlocked through Phoenix prize packs, the Sompek Shield is uncommon, so anytime you open a Phoenix prize pack, you'll get at least uncommon. And Sompek Blast Assault is from rare, so it's like a 25% chance-ish, something around there, to get that. So if you get a Phoenix prize pack 10-pack from the Lithium store when the next one comes around, there's a pretty good chance you'll at least get one rare. So getting at least one rare in that, plus an uncommon, and you can claim a Blast Assault and Shield. That's account unlocked for your entire account. And because I'm about to show how to bypass this issue, you'll be able to put this as a leveling shield and leveling weapon for all of your bridge officers and for your captain too, if you so choose. So this is how to do it. So open up your inventory and go to the Assets tab and scroll down to this section here and click on this tab, which is called the Dilithium Store. From here, you'll open up the Special Items and Boxes tab, and there are a bunch of items here. The Special Items tab is where the Phoenix prize packs will show up whenever they are available for during those limited times when they are available. Right now, obviously they aren't, but in the future, they will have these from time to time. Additionally, at the bottom of this, there'll be a lot of modules for the different specializations. Based upon how many points you put in different specializations, there'll be different kit modules there available for you, for your captain. Additionally, if you've bought the Delta Rising Big Pack or bought the Temporal Special Agent Big Pack, there'll be a lot of account Starship traits that'll be immediately unlockable for your KDF captains. And also for Federation captains, there'll be a handful, not very many, but a handful of traits available to them too from the Delta Rising pack. What we're interested in today is just the Reclaim tab. There'll be a lot of stuff in here, or very little, depending on how long you've been inside this game. What we're interested in today is just the Sompek Shield and Sompek Blast Assault, which, again, we can now account unlock through the Phoenix prize packs. Once you claim it once from there, they are reclaimable from this Reclaim tab indefinitely on your entire account. Unfortunately, Cryptic doesn't seem to want to allow you to claim more than one of these for each one of your characters. I don't know why that's the case when we have, tier 6 scaling starships, scaling weapons on those starships too, but here's going to be the simple way to move around that issue. So, and it comes down to STO's poor detection system. It's kind of inconsistent, but at least for the Sompek weapons and different armor, which I'm about to mention, that detection system only seems to detect these items when they're in your inventory, in your character bank, or on your captain. Which means if that stuff is on a bridge officer, this error is not going to come up, and you can reclaim it again for more officers or for your captain. So for this process, we're going to keep on claiming the shield and weapon. I'm also going to be claiming the armor because there's a particular armor from an old feature TFO, which is also scaling. And I'll be claiming those for all of my bridge officers and for my captain. And because we keep on putting them on our bridge officers, and this system no longer detects it, so it thinks that we've deleted it, we can keep on reclaiming these as many times as we have bridge officers. And then once we put on our bridge officers, we can claim it one more time and put it on our captain, and then we're good to go. So for convenience here, I'm going to move this over to the side, just so that I can have my character window open, plus this store open, plus my inventory open, so I can keep on moving things back and forth. And so for this process, I'll be going down through all of my bridge officers and continually doing this all the way through. I do it on all my bridge officers, and then I lastly do this on my captain, and then boom, I have it for all of my characters. Just to prove that I was able to do that and not just moving the stuff around, you can see over in my inventory, I've got a bunch of armors, Sompek shields, and Sompek weapons, all here just from doing this process. Yes, you can do this, and this is really convenient, especially on any new characters that you're doing and starting from level 1. So you can very easily have a scaling armor, scaling shield, and scaling weapon for your captain and for all of your bridge officers. This is extremely convenient for them, and even for endgame characters who maybe you don't want to invest in getting a shield and weapon for all of your bridge officers, for that popular video, bridge officer builds made easy video. If you don't want to get the stuff from reputations, this is a very economical way to give all of them 25 kit readiness, just very easily. That is scaling. So that's definitely an option for you all as well. Just as a side note here as well, if you go to the regular events tab, which they created with the Malachi Frigate event for the Reclaim Rewards tab, which should have everything there. Unfortunately, if you claim the Sompek shield and assault weapon from here, you can't do this method and claim it multiple times. I'm not sure, at least on the characters that I tried, I couldn't manage to do it this way. I don't know why it's that way. It's like they added extra coding whenever they did this new Reclaim Rewards tab and did it that way. Why it's that way, I'm not particularly sure, but I'm doing it the first way in this video, and you'll be able to claim it for sure on all of your bridge officers and then for your captain. So yeah, that's just a fun little thing for y'all at the end of this video, as something nice, fun, and positive as well. Feel free to like and subscribe if you like this type of content and for Star Trek Online. Again, I'm not someone who will bombard you with tons of videos. It's maybe 1 to 2 max a week. Basically 2 a week if I happen to be doing a subject and they release a new starship with stats, then I'll do 2. Otherwise, it'll typically just be one a week on this channel. Again, feel free to also comment in the comments below if you liked my ideas for making events a little bit better and for the players than what the current event system appears to be inside the game, or if you're interested and want to comment on the weekend store items that are now I count unlockable through Phoenix prize packs. Anyway, hopefully all of you enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.